He had it all. Fame, money, millions of fans across the globe. Vitaly Zdorovetskiy wasn't just a YouTuber. He was an internet legend. But something changed. The funny prankster turned reckless, violent, and disturbingly unpredictable. From streaking at global sports events to allegedly assaulting strangers. And now, he's sitting in a foreign jail, facing up to 24 years behind bars. How'd it get this bad? How did a man who once made the internet laugh become a cautionary tale of fame gone wrong? This is the dark fall of Vitaly Zdorovetskiy. This video is intended for educational and entertainment purposes only. Viewer discretion is advised due to mentions of legal charges and disturbing incidents. Vitaly started like many YouTubers in the early 2010s. Just a guy with a camera and a wild imagination. He launched his channel Vitaly TV in 2011 and quickly became one of the most viral pranksters on the platform, pretending to blow up cars in public, faking zombie attacks, scaring strangers with explosive humor. People love the chaos. By 2014, he was known across the world. 10 million subscribers, sponsored deals, even TV appearances. He was living the dream. But the internet has a short attention span, and Vitaly wanted to stay on top, at any cost. The first major red flag came in 2014, when Vitaly ran onto the field during the FIFA World Cup final in Brazil. It was risky, illegal, and he got arrested. Then came 2016, he climbed the Hollywood sign. Later that year, he streaked across the court during the NBA Finals. In 2017, he ran onto the field at the World Series. Each time, he faced arrest, but it became part of the brand. Fans didn't see a criminal, they saw a legend. But what most people didn't see was the growing addiction, not to drugs, but to attention. By 2018, YouTube's rules were tightening. So Vitaly launched Vitaly Uncensored, a paid site where he could post explicit content and outrageous stunts without limitations. The videos got wilder. Nudity in public, disrespecting locals in foreign countries, filming chaos for clicks. It wasn't about pranks anymore. It was about shock value. He built a business off crossing the line, and people paid to watch him do it. But behind the camera, he was spiraling. Everything came crashing down in April 2020. Vitaly was arrested for allegedly assaulting a female jogger in Miami Beach. According to reports, it was unprovoked, violent, and disturbing. He was charged with aggravated battery. This wasn't a prank. This wasn't funny. And it wasn't content. The internet turned on him. Sponsors disappeared. Collaborators went silent. Vitaly was canceled. After the Miami arrest, Vitaly's behavior online changed drastically. He admitted to struggling with substance abuse, posted cryptic rants, disappeared for weeks, and came back acting more erratic than ever. He lashed out at fans, fellow creators, even his closest friends. It wasn't entertainment anymore. It was a breakdown playing out in real time, and his audience couldn't help him. Just when people thought it couldn't get worse, it did. In April 2025, Vitaly traveled to the Philippines for content. But during a live stream, things spiraled out of control. He was seen harassing security guards, mocking locals, and trespassing in restricted zones. At one point, he reportedly tried to grab a firearm from an officer. He insulted Filipinos on camera, made racist gestures, and treated the country like a joke. But this time, the country pushed back hard. Vitaly was arrested by Philippine authorities and charged with multiple crimes, including harassment, theft, assault, and unauthorized filming. He is currently facing up to 24 years in prison. And unlike his past stunts, there's no getting out of this one easily. So how did this happen? How does someone go from YouTube royalty to international disgrace? It wasn't just one mistake. It was a pattern, a hunger for relevance that led to recklessness, an empire built on disrespect, and a man who mistook clout for character. Fame doesn't just change people, it magnifies who they are. And in Vitaly's case, that magnified ego turned into self-destruction. He could have stepped away. He could have grown with the platform. But instead, he kept chasing the next high, until he finally crashed. Vitaly's fall isn't just about one guy. It's a reflection of something deeper. The dark side of internet fame. When your value depends on views. When your fans expect you to be outrageous. When you stop being a person and start becoming a persona. You lose yourself. Vitaly Zdorovetskiy went too far. Too many times. And now, he might spend the rest of his life behind bars in a country he mocked for content. He used to say he'd do anything for views. Now he's facing the consequences of that promise. Because in the end, there's a fine line between being fearless and being foolish. Vitaly's story is more than just a downfall. It's a roadmap of how internet fame can twist reality, warp identity, and destroy boundaries. This wasn't a single fall from grace. It was a slow-motion self-destruction. One video, one arrest, one mistake at a time. What makes his case so haunting is how predictable it became in hindsight. He wasn't just some edgy creator who went too far. He was the product of a system that rewards extremity. The more dangerous the prank, the more shocking the stunt, the more people clicked, and the more Vitaly felt he had to outdo himself. The early days of YouTube celebrated raw, unfiltered chaos. Vitaly didn't just play that game, he helped define it. But as the platform grew up, Vitaly didn't. While others adapted to the rules or matured with their content, he stayed locked in a persona built entirely on rebellion, shock, and ego. By the time his audience started growing tired, he didn't slow down. He escalated, and that's where the tragedy began. Because the truth is, Vitaly wasn't just chasing attention. He was addicted to it. When views became validation, and controversy became currency, every scandal felt like a win. Every arrest felt like a trophy. But real life doesn't operate on likes and shares. And eventually, the world pushed back. His arrest in the Philippines wasn't an accident. It was the final chapter of a long history of ignoring boundaries, mocking the very people who gave him platforms, access, and chances to redeem himself. And this time, the consequences weren't just internet backlash. They were real, concrete, with up to 24 years of prison on the line. There's a brutal irony in how his final stunt, meant to entertain, might end up erasing the rest of his life. Vitaly wanted to be a legend, and in a way, he is, but not for the reasons he hoped. His story now stands as a case study of digital self-destruction, of what happens when a man builds an empire out of chaos and then forgets how to live outside of it. Because in the end, the audience moved on. The camera stopped recording, and the man behind the stunts was left alone, unmasked, and undone by the very image he tried so hard to keep alive. Fame can give you everything, but if you lose yourself chasing it, it can take everything away. And that is exactly what happened to Vitaly.